What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ, Bucky, Rhett with you. Buck, you know it's a big day. I guess election day. And it would take something big to pry that Indiana hat off of Rhett's head. He's got the America hat on today.
Hey, we're all about America
country
today, baby.
He's team country over IU right now.
Yeah.
So
red, white, and blue, not just creamy crimson.
I get this, but I got to ask about this thing that I don't know if Rhett sent it or whatever. What's this Windiana?
Oh, yeah, 9 Windiana? Yeah, we're just Windiana now. That's what we do.
That's what you're calling them?
Like,
yeah.
That come from the student store? Like,
No,
what kind of nickname is that?
It's just
Windiana?
Windiana. That's what we do. I don't know if you heard. We're 9-0 for the first time in program history. We're going to take down the national champs this week, and there's a lot to like.
You'll love this. So my dad, who spent a lot of years in Indiana, I was actually born in Indiana.
Right. Fort Wayne, baby. Let's go.
But he was born in Ohio, so he spent even more time growing up in Ohio than in Indiana. So he's an Ohio State football fan, and he's an Indiana basketball fan, as I'm sure there's probably quite a few people in that bucket. But he loves the Buckeyes, so he'll watch the Buckeyes every week. My dad's 84, I think, 84 years old. So we're talking, and he's telling me about watching the Buckeyes win over Penn State, and then I go, well, there's a big game looming on the horizon with Indiana. He goes, Indiana? I go, Dad, they're undefeated. He goes, really? He goes, have they played anybody?
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic.
So it's got to get used to this Indiana football power business, Buck. Like, that doesn't just roll off the tongue.
I mean, that's a minor detail about like level of competition and playing. The wins count. This would be a huge test. We get a chance to see them. We get a chance to see them against a team that is decent. Not great.
Yeah, not great, but decent.
We won every game by 14. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's true. It's time for the lead block presented by T-Mobile for business. Football needs a network willing to go the extra yard. So do you. Go further with T-Mobile for business. Let's get to these trades. Normally on this day of the week, we kind of look back at the Monday night game. Spoiler alert. The Chiefs won a home game. Tampa gave them a good battle. Patrick Mahomes wins a coin toss, and we know how that story ends. No surprise, they remain undefeated. We've had this conversation with them a million times. DeAndre Hopkins looked good, as we knew he would. He'd fit there. So
that was a great fit.
I'd rather just take our time that we have here and talk about these trades. The latest of which is the biggest one, as we're getting near to the deadline, and that is Marshon Lattimore going from the Saints to the Washington Commanders. Our buddy Adam Peters making a bold move here. They give up a 3, a 4, and a 6, and they get a 5th back. So that is a 3rd, 4th, and a 6 for a 5 and Marshon Lattimore. Buck, I'll get to you first. First thoughts on this one.
Look, the Commanders going all in, trying to upgrade a defense that is not quite up to par, but is playing well enough for them to win games. Now you go get an elite corner to put in that defense. And we have seen what Dan Quinn has been able to do when he has elite corners at his disposal. We talk about guys that are getting their hands on the ball. We saw what Trayvon Diggs did, Deron Bland, not saying that they're elite, but they were able to really become ball hawking machines. When that Marshon Lattimore comes, and it gives you the flexibility to not only do some of the stuff that they've been doing with their zones, but now being able to play man-to-man and being able to play snugger coverage on some of the better teams that you're playing. To me, it suggests that the Washington Commanders understand that the window is open for them, and they're going all in to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I did just check, and Washington does not play the Buccaneers later this season.
Oh, yeah.
So
Marshon Lattimore, best buddy.
That one's out of the question at this point. But look, I mean, when healthy, Marshon Lattimore was one of the best corners in the league. Like those first 3-4 years he was in the league, like that was fun to watch. Like he was on, and it kind of felt like, he was one of those guys that had become really disenfranchised with what was going on in New Orleans. So hopefully fresh start brings back some of that high level play that we've seen from Marshon Lattimore and he kind of continue rolling with that defense. So I'm kind of excited to see and see if it kind of pays off, if that change of scenery pays off. But I love the fact that Washington's going in on this thing. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, like Washington realizes what they have, an opportunity to win the NFC East and to make some moves with their rookie quarterback and just kind of continuing to go all in for it right now. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at if they want to get somewhere inside the division, it's Philly. I mean, that's the obstacle. And you look as you go into the playoffs about some of the wideouts you're going to see there in the NFC and some of the quarterbacks to go along with it. You need somebody that can help match up. And You know, I think this makes a lot of sense for Washington. I think their timeline got adjusted, and that's, you know, being a well-run organization, you have your plans, but then you also have to adjust along the way and say, okay, geez, this is right in front of us right now, man. Why not? Let's go make a run at this thing right now.
Exactly.
And that's credit to Jaden Daniels of making them immediately competitive. But I love the move there. And I honestly think for too many years now, the Saints have been trying to fool themselves into thinking there's something that they're not. And I think this is a sign of there's admission here that we got to tear this thing down.
And by the way,
first part.
I think there's a $31 million cap hit, like no matter what, for Lattimore. So, I mean, you start taking your medicine.
Take your medicine, man. Take your medicine. Sometimes you got to run to the bottom to spring off the bottom and shoot back up to the surface. So that process has begun with the Saints. Some other trades here. This one was like the least surprising one. I was in Cleveland over the weekend, and it just felt like it was a matter of time before Za'Darius Smith was going to get in the car and make the short drive over to Detroit. Rhett. That one felt like it was in the works for quite some time.
I mean, we identified that, unfortunately, almost immediately after Aiden Hutchinson went down with that lower leg injury, and thought, if he's out for the season, they got to do something to continue to try to capitalize on what they have going this season as the best team in football right now. So this was great. I think Za'Darius Smith will be invigorated by this too. Like, he's sitting there with the Cleveland Browns and just got a ticket to the Super Bowl, perhaps, like that's got to be pretty invigorating for a player that's on the back nine of his career, but still producing at a high level. And you throw him in there and try to keep him fresh. And look, they've been holding serve right on defense without Aiden. Like, it hasn't been like a glaring issue, but now you just get to kind of continue to boost up that side of things with Za'Darius Smith coming in an edge rusher role and in a rotational role. They get him 25, 30 snaps a game. Like, feel pretty dang good about that.
Yeah, you have to feel good about it if you're the Detroit Lions, because you've been able to kind of tread water with Aiden Hutchinson being sidelined. Now you get a proven veteran, someone that can give you that leadership, but also that experience that you need as you're getting down the stretch. It's a nice move. I'm still surprised that Cleveland is beginning to auction off some of the personnel, but maybe I shouldn't be. When you're sitting at 2-7, that's what you kind of need to do.
Yeah. And that gets into a broader discussion, which we'll have in the offseason, about Cleveland and the weird spot that they're in with Deshaun Watson, his contract situation. I think the hopes that Jameis Winston maybe could keep this season afloat, that disappeared quickly with all the turnovers last week against the Chargers. So they're an interesting team to watch in the offseason of how they try and approach the quarterback position. But, the best way to navigate around a poorly playing, expensive quarterback that you can't get rid of is to go draft one that costs next to nothing. And it's the only escape route that you have. So any asset that you have that can fetch a pick that could help you potentially move up to secure that quarterback, I get it. I get it from that standpoint. I was curious to see if maybe Denzel Ward potentially could be on the move, but he's had some concussion issues, and I think that might scare some teams away.
And Myles Garrett was never going anywhere, right?
No.
I mean, like that. Yeah, that was
like that. That was silly. That was pie in the sky stuff. Like the two that drove me crazy were Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. We're gonna trade a whole pro player. No.
You're gonna try to build around it.
Yeah, who is the identity of your team if you are the Raiders. So, interesting. It's always an interesting time of year. There was one other one. What was the other trade we were
Khalil Herbert went to the Bengals.
There you go.
Is, a nice depth move. I think Chase Brown's still the guy there, but Khalil Herbert, before he kind of got buried on the depth chart, had some effective, games for the Bears leading into this season. I think he only had 8 attempts this season, though. That was one. I don't think that cost the Bengals very much. And
7th round pick.
Yeah, Zach Moss injured, kind of no brainer there.
And then Mingo was the last one. That one was shocking.
On that was weird, right?
Fuck, did you see that coming? They were going to get that.
I did not see that they were going to get that kind of compensation, but I'm not surprised that he's out there. But man, they don't have anybody. They don't have any playmakers.
So like the Panthers or the Cowboys? Because you make the argument for. I mean,
Cowboys.
Well, yeah. Is he a better Jalen Tolbert? Is that what they're hoping? Like,
I don't
know. That's a blind taste test. That's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know. There's much difference there. He's younger. He's got time left on his contract. It's a cheap from a financial standpoint, it makes sense. It's kind of a cheap look.
Like a year younger.
Yeah, but I was talking to a GM this morning about that, and we were both saying, gosh, that felt rich. But he brought up a good point, which was, hey, we actually really liked him coming into the draft. Buck, how many times have you seen it? And I don't know. I couldn't tell you if you did a study on it, if teams have benefited from sticking to their college grades, or if they've been fooled by it and said, oh, you know what? If we get him here, we loved him coming out. If we can get him in our program, our system, our coaching, we'll get it out of him.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. And I mean, like, honestly, like if we're not talking about like a first round pick and those things, but if you have a need, if you have the right thing, you should kick the tires on good players. And I also think, like, we're talking about all these picks that are being at the bottom. I think it's a byproduct of the future drafts not being as deep as they once were based on NIL and people not coming out. People are willing to just give away those things, saying, hey, what I'm giving up, I'm getting back something that's far more valuable in return. So yeah, you can have whatever, fourth, fifth, whatever. I think I can get a better player right now that I can develop as opposed to trying to identify one in the draft.
You got another one for us, Rhett?
Yeah, we got another one. And you know what? We talked about this exact move right after Russell Wilson's first start on this show. Mike Williams, no longer a New York Jet, now heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers to catch moon balls from Russell Wilson.
All right, this is a challenge for Nabil. I'm going to lay down the challenge because if you're listening to the show right now, Nabil is going to insert that little snippet, that little conversation that we had, and he's going to give us the date, Nabil, of when that was, because it was a day after that Steelers
Sunday
Jets
nighter
game. It was a Sunday night, I think so. So we need the date on that, and we need you to drop that conversation in so we can say how many
Sunday,
weeks.
October 20th. So it would have been the Monday, October 21st recap.
3 weeks
baby.
ago.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, we said this was the perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So go ahead, insert it now. You talked about how they're playing physical, running the ball, getting the tight ends involved with Freiermuth and with Washington, and then big shot opportunities down the field. And Rhett, this is the one that I was thinking of watching this game. I'm watching on the other side, Mike Williams, who's been, publicly embarrassed by Aaron Rodgers after a game. You go out and get Devontae Adams, so he falls further down the pecking order. He didn't practice early in the week, which I don't know what was going on there, but it sounds like obviously he'd have a legitimate reason to not want to be a New York Jet. And if the Jets are interested in trading him, I'm sitting here watching this ball game going, I was around Mike Williams with the Chargers his whole career. What Mike Williams does well is what Russell Wilson was giving George Pickens opportunities to do in that game. If you're going to trade Mike Williams, and I'm Omar Khan, I'm calling as a Pittsburgh Steeler and saying, hey, come on back over here. Saw you with a nice catch on a fourth down, but we will utilize you in what you do. We'll put you opposite of George Pickens. And now you talk about a basketball team with those tight ends. If you put Mike Williams out there with George Pickens and with a quarterback who wants to give guys chances down the field, tell me I'm not crazy here for thinking that.
You're not crazy. And you know what? It's a shame he got injured early in the season, but Roman Wilson, I felt like if you get those big dudes out there and you let Roman work in the slot too, the rookie, man, that would be a lot of fun. As well. I love that idea. As long as you're continuing to feed, George Pickens, I feel like the targets have to stay that way for him to be engaged. And he was against the Jets.
Well, that's either a great job by Nabil or a poor job by Nabil.
Or we just had 3 seconds of silence.
Yeah, we could just spend silence right there. But I don't even think we needed to break this thing down because we already said that this was a guy who's an ideal receiver for Russell Wilson.
Yes. It's great. I mean, like that fits what they want to do, right? And it gives them, a little bit something that is a little bit different, right? Than what they've had. And if Mike Williams is healthy, we know what impact he can make, on a game. Now the question is how quickly can he get up to speed here? And can they find him a smaller package to get on the field right away and find some of those ways that he can get open for Russell Wilson and continue to kind of upgrade that offense that has seen an upgrade in the 3 weeks that Russell's been in there, Buck.
Yeah, no, the thing about the Steelers offense and what they need is, like, we talk about the moonshots and the balls and Mike Williams and what he can add to it. But I just like the prospect of having two, I would say, big body playmakers on the outside. You got George Pickens on one side,
Look at
Mike
the tight ends. There's
Williams
4 of them
on the other guys. And I'm not saying that Pittsburgh is recreating what Russell Wilson had when he was at his best early in his career, but it's eerily similar to what they're trying to do in terms of like size, strike zone, deep ball, all of that other stuff, and being able to run the football and push it down the field. That is when Russell Wilson has always been at his best. And we don't need vintage Russell. We just need efficient and effective Russell.
It's like when Sidney Rice was there in Seattle, and they were throwing some of those deep play action shots. Bigger guys, 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it feels like.
Oh, what did it? I think he had some time with BMW. Big Mike Williams.
Oh,
he had Big Mike Williams on the outside.
Yeah.
Big Mike Williams going to get it for the Seahawks.
Big Mike coaching high school ball right now, I believe, isn't he?
Yeah,
I've
there you go.
seen him around a little bit. Look, I also just think of people can say whatever they want about Russ, but you just went from the most melancholy, moody quarterback to a guy who's just smiles and gives you slogans all day long. I'm just going to feel like Mike Williams has died and gone to heaven from that standpoint. I don't see Russ airing him out for not staying on the red line on a vertical.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening. Good for him. Good for Mike Williams. Good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a wrap for the Lead Block presented by T-Mobile for Business. Football needs a network willing to go the extra yard. So do you. Go further with T-Mobile for Business. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will do the rookie draft. But again, if any new trades happen, we'll let you know as we go through the rest of the episode. But we'll be right back and go through the rookies right after this. All right, we've got results, rookie draft. Man,
let's go.
Rhett just has not had a bad week. I tied him this week and cut into a little bit of it. But, I mean, we've got Rhett that's up 40-35 on me. Bucky's right on my heels at 33. Buck, we've got to be better than this, man. Come on.
I got to be better. I've fallen off the wagon. I feel like
you were leading.
I feel like I'm in this cyclone of losing, right? Like from high school to my college team's not playing great to my pro team is not playing great. I got to find a way to step away. Maybe I need to go on a retreat. Maybe I need to do some more meditation. But I gotta find a way to just get out of this losing cycle because it's detrimental to my health. I don't do well with losing.
Here is the breakdown. So Rhett with the performance of Jaden Daniels, that did well for him. I had Nick, so I got some second place there. Wide receiver, tight end, running backs. I had Neighbors, which got me the most points, followed by McConkey with Rhett and Marvin Harrison Jr. there for Bucky. And then in the last category, I got another W with Bowers, and Rhett got some second place points with Bucky Irving going running back there, and Keon Coleman finished up for Buck. So this week, the order is myself, Bucky, Rhett. So Buck, this is the week. We gotta get going here.
Is it?
Yes, it's going to happen.
I'm running away with this thing.
Well, 5 points can disappear real quick.
Calm down. We're at the halfway point. Calm down.
Yeah, tons of ball left.
You've had a good first half. Calm down. You got to finish the deal.
Yeah.
Indiana starts out 9-0.
Indiana.
They can finish 9-4.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Well, the first pick's not going to surprise anybody. I'll go Jaden Daniels, Buck. I think he's been the first pick darn near the whole season.
Whenever healthy,
Yeah.
Who are guys on bye week this week?
You're just Bowers. That's the only one you got to worry about.
That's Bowers. All right. Well, let me go quarterback. Look, my team is falling apart in Chicago after the Hail Mary. I feel like we just lost all the juice and momentum. But Caleb's gonna bounce back. So this is the week. Let's go, Caleb Williams.
Okay. Got it. Well, you load me up with Malik Neighbors.
Here come the weapons,
my friends. Yeah. Let's go. I'll take Malik Neighbors right there, and then. Why don't we, as I was just looking at this once again here, why don't we also take a look at, I don't know that I like Brian Thomas this week. Give me Vlad McConkey again. It's been nice, man. Yeah, give me Lad and Neighbors, baby. All right, Buck, you're back.
I'm so mad because last week I should have taken Doomsday had a great week, but I'm not going to go there. Look, man, I think I got to stay with it at some point because at some point it has to turn out for me. Can I? Marvin Harrison Jr. Can I figure out a way?
All right, you could do that. You could do that. That's a good thought.
Marvin Harrison Jr. Buck, what's the update on Brian Thomas Jr.?
I mean,
is he playing?
Like him, he played. Yeah, he's playing. I mean, I can't help that he's just running around and they don't throw the ball to him. He's playing. He's out there. He's dressed. He's in uniform. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want to put the ball in the hands of one of your better players, but it just hasn't gone that way sometimes.
All right, who do the Jags have this week?
They got the Vikings.
Oh,
That's
Minnesota.
why I stayed away. Yeah, I stayed away from BTJ on that one.
Nope, I'm going BTJ.
All right.
I'm going to go BTJ, and then I will come back. I get to go back to backers. Odunze is coming off of a nice week.
Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, you know who's sneaky, kind of getting up there?
Jatavian Sanders?
Yes.
Is that where you're going to go?
That's exactly where I was going to go. 25 catches, 252 yards.
They just don't score a lot of points.
No,
you don't get touchdowns.
No, you don't.
BTJ, and then, you know what? I'm going to go same team. I'm going to go. Who do the Carolina Panthers have, Rhett?
They have the Giants.
Oh, give me Leggett. I'm going to go Leggett today.
Okay.
All right. So I'm up.
26 catches, 244.
He's getting in the end zone a little bit. What do we got for touchdowns for Leggett?
Tutties?
Got 4, I think, doesn't he?
Let's see. Yeah, he's got 4 tutties.
Yeah, I'm going to go. There we go. Buck, you're up. You got your final pick here. You got to get a weapon.
BTJ. I
already took BTJ. He's gone. I got BTJ and Leggett.
Oh, you took him? You took him first? Okay, my bad.
I would say you've got some.
Hold on. Wait. Oh, we got a little bye week.
You go back to Rome.
A little bye week. Yeah.
I think Buck was playing. Buck, were you playing the Wordle when I made that pick? Be honest.
Bucky, how do you not go with your namesake here at this point?
Oh, Bucky Irving's still out there.
I don't, man. Like, are we going to keep
you're not into it, huh?
They're playing San Francisco.
So?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can go with Rome, but man.
What about
we can go
Tyrone Tracy not getting any love here?
I'm fine on here. Here we go. Let's go Rome and Dunze because they're playing
Rome and Dunze. All right, so you're going with the stack. You're going Caleb.
All Chicago.
Caleb to Rome.
Because because that offense, I mean, Dunze did play well, but golly, they were a mess against Arizona. Rhett, you got which back you taking here?
I think I'm going Drake May today, boys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Get those rushing yards, man.
Give me some Drake May. I just may go live down by the bay and have some hay. What do you say? It's Drake May.
It's 4th and 30. got a hearty laugh out of Rhett on that one. All right, boys. Anything else you guys want to jump in here with? We have how much longer till the trade deadline, by the way, as we're recording this?
We got about 3 hours.
Oh, so we still have time. So that there's going to be a huge trade that's going to go down once we stop recording.
Oh, yeah. You think so?
Yes. Always happens.
Who's it going to be?
Nabil's going to send the text and try and get us all back together. It's not going to work schedule-wise.
Who could it be? Who would be good to be traded?
I don't know.
By the way, did you guys see that Jonathan Cooper got a 4-year, $60 million extension from the Broncos, 7th-round pick out of Ohio State. Player. And as such, they traded Baron Browning. To replace fan of the friend of the program, Dennis Gardeck, who unfortunately tore his ACL out there.
I was there
in
for
Arizona.
that one.
So little depth piece there. Yeah. That's all I got,
I've got one for you. I was talking to someone at the Michigan game. There's a lot of personnel guys there. So talking to someone in the league, and we were talking about Mason Graham, the defensive tackle.
Yes.
Really good player. Yeah, Servite's finest out here in Southern California. Great player. Buck, the best part about going to live games is you can body type guys and see him. So he does not have a good body. It's kind of it's not. He's got short arms. He's not super fit, but he's obviously very strong, very explosive, good player. And he brought up the question. He was like, I wonder if he'll ever get his arms measured. And I'm like, you know what? I have to be careful because look, I'm at the combine. We're on the coverage there. We spend so much time talking about it, and it's nice to be able to compare things historically. But we are in a player empowerment era right now, where if I was an agent and he was my client, and just being totally truthful and honest with you, over my dead body, measuring his arms. Watch my tape. I've got 3 years of dominant tape. You're not measuring anything.
The guys doing the measuring are going to be some of the loneliest guys.
I know. I just don't think I don't think that people are. I think that we're going to get beyond that. And even with 40s,
we're done.
We've seen it a bunch with some of these guys I always go back to, what Ozzie Newsome used to say, if you're fast, run, there's no hey, I've done enough. Dude, if you're going to run 4 threes, if you can fall out of bed and run 4 threes, just go run it, because you're going to just reinforce how fast you are. But if you're a great player who maybe plays pretty fast, but you go through your training and you're like, I'm not a time guy. Heck no, you're not getting a 40 out of me. It's a different era for scouting. And the thing that struck me was this person, who's high up in a personnel department, Buck, the old curmudgeon personnel guys who would, we've done this. I didn't even think he really cared. It's like, yeah, he's right. The tape is good enough.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the combine will ever get to a point where they're like, hey, if you're coming, you're doing this. You're at least doing the measurements. You're at least, in order to get admission to the combine and talk to all the coaches and and have all that, you got to at least.
It's still, it's still valuable. It's just from a TV standpoint is what hurts. That's it.
Yeah, it hurts that. But Rhett, even if you say you're banning me from the combine, okay, cool. But you guys need me.
Yeah, no, I'm just. It's a tough.
You got to hit me on Zoom. Yeah, you have to. I do think we're going to see fewer of the top guys maybe work out and do some of the other stuff, but I still believe we'll see enough to maintain interest in broadcasting the combine and seeing some of those guys.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that. I'm just curious if there would ever be some push to all right, let's try to
let's make some mandatories.
Yeah.
Well, Rhett, for a nominal fee.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
right.
run.
For a nominal fee, if you're willing to pay me an appearance fee, I'll come in and run a 40 for you. You have to think that's coming down the pipe.
The other thing is, Bucky and I have been to the winter meetings for baseball, and that's where basically the whole league gets together. They have meetings. There's some contracts that get announced there and stuff. I think there's a way that, let's say that the nuclear option, right, where just a bunch of these kids are going to say we're not working out anymore. You could have, how much more fun would free agency be if the whole league was together in one location?
Right now.
We bring in the players. We can get physicals on all the draft guys, whatever, you need to get there. You can have your interviews with them and meet with players. Maybe you have some guys that still want to work out. But if that was, an event where the whole league was there and boom, you just made a trade. Hey, let's bring the GM over to the set. Hey, you guys just made a trade. You just signed this free agent. It would be a convention. That's a great way to put it.
Let's make it a convention. Let's have fun. Let's talk about league business. Put all the meetings and all that other stuff there. Let's have some stuff. Throw the ball around a little bit. Let the little draftees and prospects do it. But let's talk about real business and have some of that stuff that we can broadcast. It'll make it a lot easier for us to have content.
Sign me up, man.
Sounds kind of fun, right? Although, I think they would be saying, well, we've got 2 big events. You guys have just shrunk down to 1.
Free agent
frenzy and all that. But I think it would be fun to have everybody there in person.
Let's continue. Let's pump up Big 12 Combine, baby. Let's get that rolling. Let's bump up the pro days again.
You know what? And speaking of that, how cool would it be if we could have the free agents do signing day? Let's put the hat
Come on out. Oh, gosh, that'd be fantastic.
Let's put on the hat on. Oh, here are my 4 choices. This is my final 4. Oh, here's my command. Oh, no. It's my Eagles hat.
Hey, you know what the good news is? We're not the commissioner. So
we're not going to be.
We're living in did we just do a fantasy draft? Okay.
It was fun.
That's what we just did.
That was fun. Though. I liked it. All right. That's going to do it for us today. Again, enjoy all the crazy trades that are going to happen after we stop recording. I appreciate you guys hanging with us, and we'll see you next time right here on Move the Sticks.